We've been talking about Kyrie the past few weeks because this situation in the NBA has evolved. Kyrie Irving still not allowed to participate with the Brooklyn Nets because of New York City vaccine laws. He refuses to get vaccinated. So you're kind of caught up leading up to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, Kyrie Irving said that he still hopes to return to play for the Brooklyn Nets, but that quote, "This is about my life and what I'm choosing to do being remaining unvaccinated." Irving took on IG Live, challenged the media because, he feels personally attacked by this stance. And he said that he is neither pro-vaccine nor anti-vaccine. That he fully understands the ramifications of his decision. He also said earlier that he's trying to give a voice to the voiceless and the people that have lost their jobs because they chose not to get vaccinated. We got one more quote in here, and then I'll open it up to Benny. He went on to talk about the money. He said because he's foregoing a $187 million extension that the Nets took off the table on Wednesday. The financial consequences, Irving says, "I know I do not want to even do that, but it is a reality that in order to be in New York City, in order to be on the team, I have to be vaccinated. I choose to be unvaccinated. And that was my choice. And I ask that you all respect my choice." It's kind of hard to respect the guy's choice when it flies in the face of being a good teammate. But Benny, this situation, since we last did the pod, has completely evolved. Do you think that this has caused a irreparable tension between him and the rest of the Nets?
Are we talking what, top brass or players?
The players, because I think at the end of the day, that's probably the most important thing. That's the most important relationships he has on that team.
I mean, I have to imagine it has.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is like sometimes we've talked about it a lot on here. I've even been a Kyrie apologist a bunch of times because I'm a punk rocker, I'm a rabble rouser, and I kind of immediately, start siding with the people who are like 1 against 100. It's just, like when I used to work with kids, I would spot out the awkward kid with the rat tail and I'd be like, yo, that's my boy. I'm going to help him out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like there is a part of me that like I kind of enjoy it. I like when people fuck with the whole thing. And there was a part of me for a long time that thought Kyrie like got the joke. You know what I mean? Like during the flat earth thing, I really thought, because when he speaks eloquently enough and references it enough where I'm like, okay, he's smart enough that I think he's fucking with everybody. And it's kind of funny. Like, even if he read like one article, it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to put this on Twitter and just like fucking rile people up by saying I'm a flat earther or something, But as the years go on here, and situation after situation come up, we have like a lot of historical precedents now. And when the culmination is this IG live thing, I listen to it and I listen to it with open ears because I'm like, does he have anything really interesting or poignant to say? And I turned it off and just went like, what? I don't know what he's talking about. And I really think like a lot of the time he uses these like catchphrases like voice for the voiceless and like I stand up for working people, but I won't do this, which helps a lot of fucking working people. And it's almost as if like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth sometimes, where I am open to his argument if I felt he had a good one. And I don't. I think he's just like doing this, and maybe there's some shit behind the scenes. Like I don't know if there could be like a religious element to it. I mean, maybe, because I know he's like a devout religious man. So that stuff, it just like confuses me. I think the Nets made a good move by just advancing past this for the current season, saying like we're just focusing on the guys we have. This is what we're going into. Obviously we can't extend this person anymore because it's just become so volatile like over the years and so polarizing. So I like that the Nets did that. And I stand here as a sort of upset Nets fan that the thing I wanted, I don't think will ever culminate now. I was optimistic it would for a long time, and now I don't. One thing I got to bring up, and I even pose it to you as an open question, right? Is we can say all this and take our sides on it. Is there simply something we cannot understand about the situation because we're not Black Americans, as far as a vaccine is concerned? Like I can never take a time in my own family's personal history where the US government had like tested on my people, experimented on my people, basically like, you know, used my people to figure out all sorts of different things. Like that happened, and it happened. It's not like ancient history that it happened. So, my relationship with science and the American government and stuff, like I don't think they're out after me, you know, but I also have no historical precedence to think that. So is that an element that a lot of the pundits need to discuss as part of this?
I mean, I don't think it's up for us to decide that. I mean, I feel like people that uh look like us kind of come from our like we have zero experience with this. So to sit up here and talk about why Kyrie is feeling this way, thinking that we have a pulse on what Black America is feeling would be highly irresponsible. With that said, I believe Kyrie Irving in the last couple of years lost one of his parents. I seem to remember reading this. I thought it was his mother passed away. So if you are a professional athlete and you are sitting up here and and the pressure from everyone, the media, the fans, the organization is you have to be the guy. We're paying you all of the money. We want you to be the guy that hit the 2017 game 2017 NBA Finals game winner. We want you to be that guy all the time. I think that has a residual mental effects on you, because if you're processing grief in real time and you have this expectation, I think it can all be a lot for somebody, so that when you're going through your day, your mind is swirling. It's not quite like you have ADHD, but it's hard to kind of keep things straight. So you go from one thing to the other, and it is a wave that Kyrie Irving is surfing. And I'm not trying to apologize for the guy. I just think that this guy's going through it. We've seen this. So I think that to have empathy for what this guy's dealing with and hope that he can find his way through it in the public light is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, and that's where you just got to simply separate sports and life. I
Yeah.
mean, but the one part about it that Kyrie does always sort of fails to recognize is kind of something I had to learn the hard way too, is when you're paid this much money and you're on a, high level team with all these other high level players and things like that, like the questions about your performance in reference to your personal life, it's not an intrusion. You know what I mean? Like it's an intrusion if you're going out there and playing 82 games and seemingly like, doing exactly what your job entails. And then someone starts asking about, fucked up stuff about your personal life. That's not cool. But if it's like decisions about your personal life that are dictating what happens with the team, is kind of fair game. So this whole idea about the respect for his like privacy in regard to this is like, eh, wrong business. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
certain people, like, you get privacy if you're at least like doing some level of your job. And just currently he's not doing his job. He's
Yeah.
not playing basketball, which is the reason he's paid that much. So, like, sorry about that part, Kyrie. Like, I even got to deal with it. And I'm like is an R-list celebrity, like, and I can't even make a tweet without someone talking shit. It's just whatever. It's part of it, dude.
Yeah, I know that I killed him at the top of it, kind of had empathy in the middle, but his entire platform that he now it's the arrogance. If he would have just come out and been real and been able to check in with himself and say, hey, here's what's going on with me mentally, rather than trying to act superior. It's a superiority complex that I think gets people when he tries to act all high and mighty. And it's like, no, your platform comes because you're a basketball player, not
Right.
and activist. So I think that, but he's getting love from a particular side of this conversation, and he's getting hate from the other side. And will, when he needs the NBA and his brother to come together, let's see what side of the people that are supporting him right now are going to be there.
Hey, you can go on like elephant hunting trips with Don Jr. now. Maybe that's gonna be part of his new routine. Kyrie's gonna go. Listen, you start hanging out with Ted Cruz and Don Jr. He's gonna go full Ted Nugent soon.